channel. My name is Angali. This is Alpha Human Talks with Angali. Welcome to my YouTube channel. How is everyone keeping? I hope safe and well. Well, if this is your first time of passing by, just click the subscribe button. Here I do my best to have talks and conversations that can and should lead to action for you and I. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the red button and subscribe and follow me. So today I wanted to be talking about what's happening across the world. Oh, yes, you guessed it. Kamala Harris's inauguration. It just sent so much amazing emotion down my spine. It was just an amazing thing. I watched it on television with my 6-year-old, and it was just amazing for me and her to have a conversation about what was happening. But also that, in my opinion, was also a teaching moment and a learning moment as well, because we began to have a conversation, and I began to just reflect on the fact that some African countries have been here already. Yes, some African countries have been here already and have either had women as acting presidents, as vice presidents, or as even presidents. And I wanted to take the time out to actually just share who they are and where I feel like we should be going to, and where women are in terms of leadership. And the first person I want to talk about today is the president of Burundi, and her name is Sylvie Kiningi. Sylvie Kiningi was the president of Burundi. Yes, she became president when the president was shot or assassinated. And yes, so she was the first ever president in an African country. And then you have in South Africa, Ivy Matsape. Ivy Matsape became the president of South Africa as well, and she's a woman. And you go to, obviously, the Liberia, you have the first elected president. Her name is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had been the president until a couple of years ago. And if you go all the way to Gabon, you realize that, hang on a second, there has been a woman president there as well, in the name of Francine Ragombe. Francine Ragombe was, even if she was in an acting capacity, she was still a president. And then you go to Mauritius. Mauritius also had an acting president, and her name is Agnes Monique Osan, who became the president as well when there were issues with the current president. Yes. And then you go to one of my favorite women to lead, and that's because I've been able to come into close contact with her conversations and her mentorship. So and I've just grown by seeing what she does. And it's Joyce Hilda Banda. Joyce Hilda Banda is actually the first vice president. She was the first vice president of Malawi, and then she became the president of Malawi after all. She's actually named by Forbes as one of the 40 most powerful women in the world. And that's just so that's one of the African presidents that we've had. And then when you go to Central African Republic, you have Catherine Zamba-Panza, who has also been a president. And then you come to Mauritius, the first elected president of Mauritius, a woman. Her name is Amina Gurib Farim. So we've had first. And last but not the least is the president of Ethiopia, who is Sally Work Zewde. She's the first elected president of Ethiopia. So yes, it feels as if we haven't got, but we've got first. And the interesting thing about the president of Ethiopia being a woman is that she's still the only woman who is a president out of all the 54 countries. Yeah, I know. Again, the representation of women should really improve. And then when you come to my loving country, Nigeria, yeah, that was intentional. Cricket, literally cricket. And but we've had women who were bold enough to run for the office of the president, and for that we need I cheer them. We have Sarah Jibrin, who ran for office of the president, irrespective of how many votes that she got. She still ran. And we have Professor Oluremi Shonaya, who also ran for the office of the president in Nigeria. And we had other candidates who took on the ticket to run, but halfway midway through for, whatever reasons, they dropped out of the race. But like I was saying, Kamala Harris, we celebrate you, but we also celebrate the fact that she's has an African heritage. You see, it's just amazing that we are celebrating this at this point in time. And I also celebrate all the other prime ministers across the world, like in New Zealand, Norway, and Iceland, who are doing amazing work as prime ministers, especially the ones who are, within the average range of 35 as well. It is just an amazing time to still be alive. It goes to show that women, there's a lot for us to give, and we can still do this. I'm really, really happy that Kamala Harris is in this position. I'm happy that a lot of women, a lot of girls can see themselves in her just like I can. A lot of African presidents who were women, who were either in acting capacity or full presidents of different African countries. I applaud every one of them. And this obviously made me start researching and thinking and reflecting, like, what is it that can get us there, aside from the rework of the mentality, the mindset, the structure, the terrain, the environment, that, and of course the electoral bill that we have in Nigeria. There are other things that we can also begin to take on and look into. And I came across a research done by McKinsey, and McKinsey carried out a very good research, and actually was just finding out how women and young women can actually begin to focus their leadership, to begin to take over leadership positions and begin to take on leadership making roles. And they titled it Centered Leadership. And centered leadership is really about an accumulation of everything that you are, and making sure that they sort of fit in a way that can help you move on. And there were 5 models that McKinsey's report came up with. I'm just going to mention 3 here, and I'm just going to encourage you to go to my description box and read the remaining. The first thing that stood out to me was find meaning. Find meaning. What is your why? And reflecting on where Kamala Harris's history and all the things that she's done before coming here, she always had the why. But it was interesting how her friends said they're not surprised that Kamala Harris became she initially ran and lost, but she got the ticket with Joe Biden. But her friends were not surprised. Her family was not surprised. And I felt like, wow, that's so amazing, because when I compare it to Nigeria, you look like, what's the odds of a woman running for and winning, that elected office of the president in Nigeria? Because for Kamala Harris, different culture, different upbringing. She was raised by a single mom at some point, and people in Nigeria, some look down on it. Like, there's nothing wrong with being raised by a mom alone. The mom was an educationist, and she did her best. So her friends could speak about her, but then she already knew what her why was. Being a senator, being a prosecutor, studying law, Kamala Harris knew her why. Another thing I want us to also take into consideration from McKinsey's report is managing our energy. Like, not everything deserves your attention at the same time. Prioritize how you give your energy. Prioritize the things that you do. Prioritize how you're following your why. It's really important, because for me, the why is the purpose that you're here. It's about your destiny. It's about you also doing things and managing energies and ensuring that you're apportioning what you need to apportion at the right place. And lastly, I want to say that you need to be able to check out your networks and manage your networks well. I think this is really quite critical. I think, women should really get in a habit where you don't reach out to somebody just because you need them. You just keep building networks, keep building understanding, keep looking for how you can be of service and of help to people. I know that I learned that very well from a really, really good mentor of mine, and that is some of the things I feel we can begin to apply when we begin to think about centered, focused leadership. Anybody can be the president of Nigeria. Yes, I said it. Anybody can be. And I just hope that even as we celebrate Kamala Harris, we really take a look at our own place, our own position as a nation, as a country, Nigeria, and look at the women across who are very intelligent, who are more than able to take on the office of the president and begin to turn things around, change mindsets, have conversations. And then one day, absolutely, Nigeria will have her own first president. This is all I have to share for us today. So if you haven't liked my videos or you haven't subscribed, please, this is the time to subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Alpha Human Talks with Angali. Until my next video, take care of yourself, keep safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and remain blessed.